Hello, my name is Dan Aument, and I'm the president of the Historic Ottawa Beach Society. Our main project is the Pump House Museum and Learning Center, which is behind me here. Let's go inside and I'll give you a tour of this museum. The building itself here, the building that we call the Pump House, actually was built in 1901 as an electric generating plant for the big hotel, the Hotel Ottawa, that was here at Ottawa Beach, having been built in 1886, and it was destroyed by fire in 1923. And the building sat here after the fire, and it supplied a little electricity, but then we got connected to the power grid, and finally the building was converted for use as a water pumping facility. And it pumped water to the cottages that are in the neighborhood up until about 1988. Then the building was unused for a number of years. The county took it over. In 2005, they signed an agreement with the neighborhood association and said if anyone wants to operate a museum in there, we will allow them to do that, but they have to be a nonprofit corporation. And that's when our group, the Historic Ottawa Beach Society, was incorporated. This is the South Gallery, or southern room of the museum, nearest to the inland lake, Lake Makatawa. And you can see on this wall, the east wall, 4 of the large reproductions of picture postcards. They were the first display or exhibit that went into the building after it was renovated and restored in the year of 2015. In this corner of the South Gallery is a small interpreted exhibit about the Hotel Ottawa, which was one of the 2 large resort hotels out at our end of Lake Makatawa. And the chair up on the wall came from the veranda of the hotel. On the wall over here are a couple of small interpretive panels. One talks about the history of picture postcards for people who are unfamiliar with them. And in the corner there is a display that talks about some other structures that were here nearby the pump house building in the 20s and 30s, the Ottawa Beach Yacht Club, and its connection with Mr. George Getz. And we have an exhibit about him, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. A large portion of this southern gallery, or the South Gallery, is taken up with a display currently on what we call a kiosk. This is a structure that was created especially for the Pump House Museum. And these are projects that were completed by the students of our education director, and they are from the Lakewood Elementary School, which is only about a mile away from the museum. And in the last few years, the students have studied the history of the Ottawa Beach area. Then they studied the lighthouse. We'll talk more about that in a minute. And last year, for the first time, they studied the Lakewood Farm and Zoo, which was the largest privately owned zoo in the United States, and it operated from the mid-1920s until it finally closed to the general public in the year 1933. In this southern corner of the South Gallery is the Deming pump with its electric motor, and in front of it is an interpretive panel that talks about the Deming Pump Company. On the wall here to the right is an interpretive panel that talks about the history of water, purified water at Ottawa Beach, our neighborhood. And up on the wall, way up high, are a collection of 5 original oars, lifeboat oars, from 2 cruise ships, the North American and South American, that used to winter over here in the port of Holland. Before we had the Holland's Earliest Amusements exhibit in the North Gallery, we had a display about our lighthouse and also about the development of Holland Harbor. The physical exhibit was sold to the nonprofit that maintains and operates the Big Red Lighthouse, but the content of it was shifted to another digital interactive display, which has everything that was in that exhibit available on screen. So if you want to take a look at the history of Holland Harbor or the history of lighthouses in general, there are multiple screens. It's a very quick response system, and it offers a lot of information, more than what was in the original exhibit, for anyone or visitors to take a look at as they visit the museum. This is sort of the way that we're going in the future. Now we're walking into the North Gallery of the museum, and currently we have on display something we call the Holland's Earliest Amusements. And on the left side, or the west side of this gallery, we have the Lakewood Farm and Zoo. And on the right side, or the east side, we have a display about an electric amusement park called Jenison Electric Park. Here's Prince the lion from the Lakewood Farm and Zoo. There's a video display terminal here that shows film of Mr. George Getz's safari to Africa in the 1910s or 1920s. We also have, here's where the cameraman gets to show himself on camera, some rather amusing funhouse mirrors. These were on display at Lakewood Farm and Zoo and were in storage for 80 years, and then we were able to acquire the loan of them for about a 5-year period. So they are fun for young people as well as older folks to take a look at here in the museum. The other part of the North Gallery is taken up with an exhibit about Jenison Electric Park, which was an amusement park just on the other side of the lake. If you step out of the double doors, you can see the site where that was located across the lake. And in here we have digital displays of their figure-8 roller coaster ride, and also a mock-up of what that roller coaster car looked like, with a video display that gives you a point of view right on the roller coaster. Digital interactive displays allow us to put much more information and photographs and documents on display than would normally be possible in a building of the size that we are using. This one is still under construction, still being programmed, and it has some but not all of the information that will ultimately end up on it by the time we reopen in the summer of 2021. I hope you've enjoyed your visit to the Pump House Museum. I'm going to back out the door here real quick and take you into what will, we hope, become our enclosed lobby area. Right now this is an open breezeway that connects the public restrooms that are behind me here, connects that building structure with the restrooms to the rest of the museum building. And I'll step out here on the sidewalk so you can get an idea of what this looks like behind me. And we're hoping to enclose that open space behind me and turn it into our enclosed lobby space and gift shop. This will open up much more space on the inside of the museum for displays. As you can see from the tour that I've given you, we have space, but it is limited, so we have to be careful about the kinds of displays that we show them on the walls and how long we have them in place.